This is Confessions of a Dominatrix, Episode 1. I am Miss Haze. There are paths that choose you, people that test you, situations that break your limits, roads carved not by your feet, but by the force of your survival. This is one of those paths. I am Miss Haze, and this is my confessional. To analyze, discuss, enlighten, educate, and resolve. Silence was taught to me young. I was born into a Catholic, Hispanic family, 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. I was the second born, the middle terrain between pride and invisibility. My older sister was the family's pride and joy, the golden child who sang, hosted, and shined under every spotlight my family made for her. My younger sister was the firecracker of dance and cheer. My brother, the only son, explored sports, shielded as the youngest. We were woven into the fabric of our family's performing arts world. My aunt ran the company. My grandmother gave piano and singing lessons well into her old age. My uncle coached tumbling. I taught strength and conditioning. And we all worked. We all performed. We all contributed to this machine of family talent. But beneath the bright lights, shadows lingered. I heard the stories of my grandmother's cruelty and the way she had treated her children. I watched adults hurt each other in ways no one dared name. Addiction, abuse, inappropriate boundaries. The unspoken rule was clear. We do not talk about it. We do not confront it. We will respect them anyway. Even as a child, it felt wrong. But I learned early that survival in my family meant swallowing your discomfort to keep the peace. Respect was not earned, it was enforced. Living in submission. So when I married young, I carried those lessons with me. I believed problems were to be endured, not confronted. I thought loyalty was the highest virtue, even at the cost of my own well-being. My husband took advantage of that loyalty, quietly at first, then completely. He didn't realize how much he hated himself until it was too late. Around the same time, my older sister was working back at my family's performing arts company because she didn't make it in New York. The dream she had chased had collapsed, and she drowned that failure in liquor and cocaine. She tried to be the fun aunt, but her life unraveled daily. It was inevitable. They found each other in their weakness, my husband and my sister. An affair born out of convenience, self-hate, and a shared passion for being numb inside instead of present and responsible. I was still in my submissive role, absorbing the chaos to protect my daughter, really, until they made my daughter, just a child at the time, the witness. Her voice trembled when she could no longer keep the silence. What a complete fool I was. The betrayal. The truth no mother should hear from her own child's mouth. In that moment, my marriage, my family, my belief in loyalty shattered. I cut them all loose. No more blood ties. No more protecting the unworthy. It was just me and my daughter, alone. And something inside me changed forever. It was that moment my submission ended. It was the moment my controlled rage was born. Our girl gang. A few years later, recently divorced, I was rebuilding a life from the ground up by myself. I needed help managing the house when I traveled for bodyguard work, so I moved in a roommate. She began as a house sitter for me. Then I learned the truth. Her life was in danger. Her abusive ex would rip her from her mother's home and beat her. She was pregnant. She had daughters that went to school with mine. She was living in constant fear and uncertainty. He didn't know where I lived, and I knew I could protect her. In that moment, the house became a fortress, a safe haven, and a precious sanctuary that I was going to protect with my life. She stayed. She raised her children under my roof. I provided for them, worked security contracts, fought and bled for money, and kept the lights on. She embodied the mother role, growing the baby and keeping the kids cared for, while I earned respect and freedom for us. We called it our little girl gang, all women and children, bound not by blood, but by love and survival. The power switch. In that time, I completely reversed my role in life. I became the provider, protector, and shield. I inherently became what I needed my husband to be, stable and supportive. My hands, once gentle with dishes and diapers, now wielded force and control for money. With years of boxing and MMA behind me, plus armed nightclub security and bodyguard work, I was ready to unleash my rage, but in a controlled way. Not to run wild, but to strategically use it to correct behavior, confront truth, and make a difference in my own way. The psychology of submission. Domination is not abuse. It's guidance. It is the art of shaping another person's focus until they see themselves clearly. The psychology of submission is not about humiliation. It's about surrender. Surrendering to your truths. Not of dignity, but of control. It's a stripping away of ego and pride so a person can meet themselves without their masks. I need honesty when I make them look into the mirror. And unlike your therapist, I will make you as uncomfortable as possible until you can be honest. Honest with yourself first, and then me. I will hold you accountable, and I am very thorough in finding every shadow and secret. But power must be regulated. I learned the hard way that only fulfilled grounded people are the ones who know exactly what they need to regulate their emotions. My work, whether in the dungeon or in self-defense training, is about giving people that regulation. That solution is to create an outlet for their emotions. In my controlled environment, we can guide the process and, most importantly, the outcome. Between the psychology of submission and regulated power, you must give them the tools to stand taller than they've arrived. You keep them honest, you call them out, and you make them accountable. Why I do it? I didn't get the chance to call out the people in my family who destroyed themselves and hurt the ones I love. I didn't get to hold them accountable as a child, or in failing to protect my daughter. I had to let them get away with it, because I was raised to respect and protect them. So when I stepped into my own power, it became my mission. No one in my presence gets to hide from the truth. I will drag it into the light. I will hold them to it, and I will give them the tools to survive it. And I will not be bothered if it's a difficult lesson to endure. I love it when they squirm in their truth, because you are acknowledging that this is real. The compass and the blade. To those who seek me, I offer more than domination. I offer reflection, awakening, and resolution. To women scarred by this world, I will train you to channel your emotions through your truth. To fellow parents, I will teach you strategy for protecting what's important. For the curious teenagers, I will show you how to control and enforce your boundaries with safety and confidence. True power is not loud. It is not the shift in the air. It is the shift in the air when you walk in. It is the energy you consciously bring. I am Miss Haze, Dominatrix, Guardian, Mother. I do not ask for power. I am power. Next time, why I dominate, where trauma becomes fuel, where motherhood meets the battlefield. Until then, walk with honor, speak with clarity, and never apologize for your presence.